Now on our WHBC Newsline, we're going to get some more information on this topic because, I could see where this would be happening. We have etiquette expert Colleen Rickenbacher on the phone. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing well. We've been talking a little bit about this whole issue of the frenemy in the workplace. And describe what that situation is like.
Well, frenemies are actually people that actually pretend to be your friends, but the opposite is that you're probably your worst enemies that you could have in a workplace.
And why are they your worst enemies? Because they're undermining you quietly, and they're not directly assaulting you. They are indirectly.
Exactly. And sometimes you'd rather them be directly insulting you. At least you can be prepared. So the best advice is to get to know who they are, and so that way, not that you're going to insult them back or kind of attack them back, but that you're prepared for them, so that you're not surprised every time they're doing something to you, and you don't want to stoop down to what they're doing, but yet you're prepared so you're not playing into their hand, and you're still going to be able to continue to do your work.
Well, it sounds to me like that could be very frustrating for people, especially and if you don't know what to do, you might just end up going down to their level, and that could be really harmful to you.
Oh, it is. It takes too much of your time. It takes too much of your energy, and which leads into stress. And it's just a continuous. That's why they're basically bullying you with everything that you're doing. And unfortunately, stress, which is one of the largest sources of everything that affects you at work and then goes on to your life and your balance that you do, it's very harmful with what you're doing in the workplace.
Well, you have enough stress in the workplace anyways, as in the 21st century, more and more of us are working 2-3 jobs at the same place.
Exactly. And, unfortunately, there's not any laws out there that are preventing any of this. And a lot of the companies are denying that it's even happening in the workplace. That doesn't help, because if there's no place for them to go, for this person to go and say, well, so-and-so's doing this, and so then you're almost going back to the high school and say, well, this is a tattletale type thing. And it's difficult, especially if it's coming from a boss or a supervisor. It makes it very difficult for that person to go. And some of the solutions that the person that's being attacked, basically, to confront it and say, well, we're not going to be best friends, but could we talk about what's going on here? That's very difficult sometimes for a person to confront somebody, to ask them that question.
Yeah, and do you have any other tips? I mean, I'm sure there are ways to kind of keep the person at a safe distance, so to speak.
Yeah, you can just, the other options, see if it just goes away on its own, which sometimes it does, because that other person just gets frustrated. If you're not reacting or doing anything to it, they'll go on to somebody else. So there again, there needs to be a solution, because if they just keep going around to everybody in the office, something has to happen to get done with it. The best thing is to go clear the air, and just because it's always going to continue to be there. So because productivity, especially if there's a contract going on in that office or something that's very important or difficult is going to happen, it could affect everything in that whole office. So the options are clear the air, report it, or, make sure that something happens. That person's either reprimanded, taken care of, fired, or some other action is happening with them.
Yeah, know when it's a good time to walk away, right?
Exactly. I mean, unfortunately, they do have to walk away. But if you walk away, is this person going to continue to do it to somebody else?
All right, etiquette expert Colleen Rickenbacher, we appreciate the time this morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Pam Cook and Gary Rivers, Canton's Morning News, and more. Weekdays beginning at 5:30 a.m. on News Talk 1480 WHBC.